All this is Jack and Tay. We're discussing Raiden, Tameemon, character analysis, and we're gonna go over his character. And yeah, he's actually a pretty interesting character when I reread the manga. Very, very interesting, and he's well, it's a bit redundant to say because all the human fighters are very unique in their own way. And yeah, just saying him is unique is like, well, I mean, they all are, and it's true, they all are. They're all written incredibly well, and Raiden is definitely one of those that are actually written very, very, very well. And well, without further delay, let's just get right into this character, shall we? All right. Again, I'm just gonna be going through his chronologically his story, the character, and all the way up to the end where his death is. And yeah, I just want to talk about this character because Raiden's pretty cool. A bit of a play movie. Would that be the correct word for him? Maybe, maybe right. But yeah, Raiden when he was a baby, he was didn't seem really out of the ordinary until he started aging up to 1 years old. He was not trying to walk. 2 years old, he was not trying to walk, not even so much as crawl. He just laid there, and he did that all the way up till he was the age of 3, and he would just stay like that, right? And the parents just figured, that this is probably gonna be our son. He's probably gonna be kind of like this for the rest of his life. But surprisingly, until one day, he actually tried to start walking. Right, he was using the wall to start to actually walk. His parents were happy to see that, but immediately, Raiden's bones started his muscles started activating and just crushed his own bones. And right there, Raiden just collapsed as his muscles were just too much for his bones to even comprehend, to be able to even hold his strength, which is pretty dang intense, I gotta say. A very unique, I gotta say, because Raiden, amongst all the humans, Raiden has the strongest muscles in all of human history. So yeah, I mean, pretty dang intense. Even as a baby, he couldn't handle it, and he would continue to try to walk, but it was just so difficult for him because his muscles just kept breaking his bones so much till eventually he made it to where his muscles would grow extra tendons around the muscles so that way they wouldn't expand so much and break his bones. And he did this, and it was known as the 100 Seals. So yeah, Raiden as a child, as a little tiny infant, baby, was able to make this work for him, to make it work for himself, to be able to eventually be able to actually start walking normally. And then some time later would pass till he actually would want to play with the other kids. And when the time actually came when they wanted to play sumo, Raiden's like he'd be watching, and I'm assuming the eldest kid, kind of beat everyone. But when he challenges Raiden, he's like he says to himself, I'm gonna go easy on this little kid, because he's a little kid and I don't want to hurt him too bad. And Raiden immediately just runs into him and just sends him flying, and everyone gets freaked out of Raiden because Raiden's just unbelievably strong as a child, and they refer to him as a freak, and they all get flipped out, scared of him. And with that happening, Raiden does actually start get extremely depressed, and he eventually talks to his mother about it. He talks to his mother and says, "Mother, why did the gods make me a freak?" And her mother essentially says, "No, they didn't make you a freak. They blessed you with a body like this, and one day you'll be able to use that body to help people." And Raiden does take that to heart because we do see like many years later, the same people that were afraid of him, Raiden helps out, and they actually genuinely take a liking to him, and they actually start liking him and befriending him, which is actually pretty good. I like that they did that. It wasn't like oh, oh, the monster's he's moving that giant boulder, run. No, it's like, oh wow, you're helping us out. Like wow, wow, Raiden, thank you so much. That's good stuff there. I really like that. And Raiden would just help him out so much, But then eventually, a catastrophe would happen where a volcano just erupted and just destroyed the land. And Raiden, again, as strong as he is, he can't deal with that. Like, how is he gonna help, or how is he gonna deal with a volcano just destroying so much landmass, destroying their farming lands? And so at this point, Raiden was like, "All right, I gotta go. I gotta go to the city, and I gotta, make try to make money for my village. And he actually eventually goes. He does that. He travels so far away to a village, or not a village, actually a city, I believe, to where he eventually takes sumo classes. And a sumo's essentially just challenging the new rookies and Raiden eventually. And Raiden's like, I'll pass for now. And Tigni Kaze, forgive me for the mispronunciation. He's like, all right, really? So how about you challenge me? And Raiden's like, well, usually when I fight people, they get hurt. And he's like, well, if you don't fight, you don't fight, you don't get paid, you don't get to eat. So what would it be? And Raiden's like, all right, let's do it. And the master of Raiden, he shows them what's up. Like Raiden is definitely stronger, but the master has technique. How good is your power if you don't have technique? Because we do see Raiden go at him, and he just gets Raiden and just flips him over. He's like, "Yeah, you're strong, but you really don't know how to fight." And Raiden's like, "All right, let's go for it." And them two would just clash and clash and clash until eventually Raiden would just pass out of exhaustion, just saying, sumo, it's really fun. Passes out, and then his master's like, well, this kid's got a lot of potential. As we zoom out, we see a bunch of handprints on his body where Raiden hit him, and he's like, you know what? I'm gonna train this kid because this kid's got it, and he does. He takes Raiden in, puts Raiden into so much training, and Raiden, becomes so good that he would actually go up against other sumos and just launch him out of the ring so easily. In one time, he was going up against this one particular sumo. Raiden's he's all like, all right, let's do this. And the sumo sees Raiden and he freaks out. He's afraid of Raiden, and Raiden actually he gets flashbacks of when the children were afraid of him, so he's kind of traumatized by that of him because he doesn't want to use his strength to bully the weak. That's just not who he is. And so when he's fighting another opponent and they're terrified of him, he's not going to want to fight them. He just loses the will to fight. And we do learn that later on he threw the match and his master's mad at this. But Raiden tells him, that I can't do it. It's just no way. The way he looked at me, the way he was terrified, I don't want people to look at me like that. I couldn't do it. And so Raiden would go on to, he'd be the greatest sumo ever, but he would never be able to unleash his full power. He would never be able to go all out. He could win effortlessly in any matches, but he threw matches where the people were obviously terrified of him. And as that's happening, we get old version of him where we just see just his lower mouth, where just he's very old. He's smiling, but in the end, he was never able to go all out, which is unfortunate until we meet Shiva. Then we cut to Raiden sleeping with a whole harem of women. Yeah, and Raiden's obviously sleeping, and Berhilde goes and wakes him up and gets all the women out of there. And Raiden immediately starts hitting on Berhilde and goal. Okay, Japan, and then eventually Thrud comes in as Raiden thought that Brahilde was gonna be his Valkyrie, and she's like, "No, I got someone else." And Thrud walks in, and Raiden loves it. He loves her. He's like, "Oh, big woman, big woman," and she's a big woman. She is way bigger than him. And as he just jumps at her, he starts hugging her, and she's like, "Hold on, I must seem like a freak to you, but you need to calm down." And Raiden's like, "Nah, you're beautiful, and I don't lie." And Thrud just has like a very girl moment, yeah, because she fell for him. Oh, very good stuff. And then we get the round starting where Raiden comes in and Shiva's ready to throw down. And I gotta give Raiden this. Raiden is very unique also to where it's not that he doesn't want to do his sumo. Because Shiva's like, all right, show me the sumo thing. I want to see it. No, 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 no. Raiden Raiden wants to just end this fight right here, right now. He's like, okay, yeah, I'm just gonna end it. And if I'm not gonna do sumo, I'm just gonna end it right here. And he immediately just goes right at Shiva and just drop kicks Shiva so hard that Shiva starts. He's the first to bleed. He really is. And then Raiden just goes in for another hit, and he just tries to end it as he gets Shiva's head. He's gonna knee him in the face just to kill Shiva right there and then. But no, Shiva blocks it, and right there, Raiden's like, okay, yeah, this is dang. Like he's like he just wanted to end this fight. But Shiva obviously proves too much, and then Raiden's like, all right, I'm gonna go all out, so promise you won't die on me. And she was like, all right, show me what you got. And then Raiden breaks the seals, and boom, his body gets massive, and he looks like he's about to explode. And she was like, don't you go dying on me. And then right there, Thrud comes in, and she becomes the tether to hold Raiden's muscles down, so that way Raiden could be all powered up, but she's technically holding him down, but not restricting his power whatsoever. And Raiden's like, all right. So what did you say about me breaking down? And she was like, oh, why I oughta. And then they both continue to fight. Very, very good fight here where Raiden does start normal fighting. He doesn't go into sumo. And when it shows that that's not really working out in Raiden's favor, Raiden's like, all right, now this is it right here. I'm gonna actually go all out here. And she was like, all right, show me what you got. And right there, Raiden does his sumo, his palm attack where he hits Shiva so hard. Shiva has to block, but it blows two of his arms off. And yeah, Shiva gets beat bad. Like holy cow, he gets beat bad. But when Shiva finally unlocks his form, he gets when he sets his body ablaze, as he just puts his fingers in his chest and starts pumping it. And he's like, all right, well no, he's doing this dance. His taka. I am so sorry, India, if I mispronounced that. I do not mean any disrespect. But when he does his flaming dance, he starts being able to just start countering all of Raiden's normal attacks. Even so much to when Raiden creates like these giant shields of flesh on his arms to block. She was like, all right, this is what I'm talking about. Your flesh versus my dance. Let's see who breaks down first. And right there, they go at it. And yeah, it's just really hard for Raiden because Raiden after he does his palm attack, it really does hurt Raiden. Like the recoil comes back and hits Raiden, and Raiden's body just like doesn't break down, but he feels the impact and the damage he's taking within, which is very bad for him. So he has to use it sparingly till eventually, after he fights, he's like, "All right, Shiva, I got one more left in me." And she was like, "All right, let's do it. Let's have no regrets. Let's go all out." And right there, Raiden does his attack, and Shiva does a kick. Right there, Raiden's arm gives as Shiva just splits it in half. And I gotta give it to Raiden. Raiden, he's like, Shiva, thank you so much for this fight. I'm very thankful because thanks to you, I was finally able to go all out, and that just makes me happy. And she was kind of like, I was like a bit surprised by his words, as we get Raiden being the only human fighter so far that's telling his Valkyrie, he's like, Thrud, you could go now. You could go. You could go live. You could let go and I'll die here. And Thrud's like, nah, once I give my heart to a man, I will stay with him no matter what. Very sweet moment. I'm not gonna lie, it was a very very sweet moment. There's also if I can find, I'm gonna throw it up on screen right here where the mangaka drew Thrud beating Raiden's parents. It's a very sweet panel. It's obviously something that obviously is never gonna happen, but it's sweet to see, like what could have happened. And we get that moment where Raiden's ready for Shiva. Shiva comes in and just decapitates Raiden. And yeah, I mean, Raiden is a very very good character. Like everything he does is not very surprising, as in like where he seems kind of full of himself, but he's actually very, like, what would be the correct word? Humbled, I guess I could say. Like he sleeps with these like harem of women. He eats these massive trays of food, but at the end he remembers where he came from. He's that guy that remembers where he came from, and he's grateful. And even though he was never able to go out before, he was still grateful for what he had. And in this fight with Shiva, he was like, Shiva, you bested me, and thank you so much for allowing me to go all out against you. And Shiva actually grows a liking to Raiden. Actually, after that, Shiva actually seems to have a kind of a soft spot for the humans now, right? But yeah, Raiden Tomoe, Again, very good character. I really like him. Now let me rank him from 1 through 10. I would say Raiden's he's actually not that bad. I would say probably an 8. I think he's an 8. Very good character. Nothing really bad with him whatsoever. But when you compare him to like the other top tiers, Jack just young. I mean, yeah, Raiden's good, but them are freaking top of the list, right? But yeah, again, Raiden, I like the guy, and he's pretty cool. And let me say my favorite and least favorite moments with him. All right, and I like to hear your guys' favorite and least favorite moments of Raiden. Let's start with the least favorite. My least favorite would probably be I mean, I'll just say, yeah, he was hitting on goal. That's weird. I'll say it's weird, but that's Japan for you. They got that sense of humor. I hope it's humor. Now, my favorite moment is probably hmm. I kind of like that he just tried to sucker hurt Shiva just right off the bat. I like that, but I don't. That's not my favorite, but I do like that a lot. Probably I would. Oh man, it's hard because I'm thinking about it. Raiden, maybe okay. Yeah, when he tells through, he's like, "All right, you could go, you could survive this, you could leave me here to die." And Through doesn't want him to go, and she wants to stay with them, which is, again, very very sweet moment. I really like that. So the fact that Raiden was like, telling Throod you could go and live. Like that's very nice. Like, we don't see any other human doing it. Not that I don't think any other human could do it. It's just the fact that Raiden out of all of them is the one that's singled out that's able to do that. It's very good, and I think that's very nice. But yeah, that's my favorite and least moments of Raiden. He's a great character. What can I say? I can't hate on him. He's great. But yeah, let me know what your guys' favorite and least favorite moments are, and be on the lookout for more Record Ragnarok character analysis videos because they're coming. You guys voted, and I'm here to deliver. Anyway, y'all take care and have a good one. Later.